Okay, so have you ever woken up feeling like you just ran a marathon in your sleep? That kind of heavy, dragging feeling that just sticks with you all day long.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all know that feeling. And usually our minds immediately jump to the usual suspects, right? Like maybe we didn't get enough sleep or work has been really intense lately or, just life in general is kind of catching up with us.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
easy to blame the obvious things. But what if, and I think this is really interesting, what if there's something else going on, something a little deeper, like something happening inside ourselves that's actually affecting how we feel?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Totally. And that's what we're diving into today. We're going deep, deep, deep into this molecule called, get ready for it, coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10 for short. We're going to figure out how, if your levels of this stuff are low, we're going to look at the 5 major things it does to keep us feeling energized and, healthy. And then we're going to talk about the best ways to make sure you're getting enough of it so you can go from feeling like you got hit by a truck to feeling, well, amazing.
I love that. From truck to terrific.
Right. All right. So let's break this down. What is CoQ10 and why should we care?
Okay, well, the why is actually super important. CoQ10 is absolutely vital for your body's energy production. Like, think of your cells as these tiny little factories that are constantly churning out energy to keep everything running smoothly.
Oh, yeah. And inside those factories are the mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell. Remember those?
Precisely. And CoQ10, this is where it gets really interesting. CoQ10 is like a crucial part of the machinery inside those mitochondria. It's essential for the creation of something called ATP, which you can kind of think of as these teeny tiny energy packets, almost like miniature batteries, that basically fuel all your vital organs, your heart, your brain, your muscles, the works. And without enough ATP, well, let's just say those organs are not going to be performing at their best.
Got it. So less pep in your step, literally.
Hmm.
But back to CoQ10 itself. What is it exactly? Like, what are we talking about here?
So CoQ10 is a naturally occurring compound, and it's fat soluble, which basically means it dissolves in fat. That's important because it affects how your body absorbs it. And get this, it's present in almost all of your cells. Its main job is to help move electrons around inside the mitochondria during that whole energy production process. Like, imagine it as a tiny little shuttle bus ferrying electrons around this energy-producing chain reaction that leads to ATP.
That is a great visual. Okay, so this all makes sense, but I feel like there's a but coming.
Ah, you know me too well. Here's the thing. Our natural production of CoQ10, it actually starts to decline as we get older, starting around age 30.
Okay, so that might explain why some of us, as we're, maturing, might start to feel a little less energetic, a little less like our younger selves. It's not just in our heads. There's actually a biological reason for it.
Exactly. It's not just time flying by, it's your body actually producing less of this crucial coenzyme. And, it's not just age either. Things like stress, being stressed out all the time, certain common medications like, statins, and even a diet that's not giving your body the right nutrients, all those things can speed up that decline, potentially leaving you feeling more tired and maybe even more susceptible to, health problems.
Wow, okay. So we know it's crucial for energy,
Mm.
but you mentioned it has other important roles too, right? Like what? Tell me more.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the most important ones, especially as we get older, is its role in supporting heart health.
Okay, that's a big one. My heart is definitely something I want to keep in tip-top shape.
Mm.
So what's the connection there?
Well, think about it. Your heart is this incredibly hardworking muscle, pumping constantly day and night. It needs a ton of energy to do that. And CoQ10 is vital for supporting that heart muscle and making sure it has all the energy it needs to keep pumping efficiently. That, in turn, can play a huge role in maintaining good cardiovascular health and potentially even preventing certain heart conditions.
So this isn't just a theory. There's actual research backing this up.
Oh, absolutely. There's actually a ton of scientific evidence showing the positive effects of CoQ10 on heart health, especially as we age. For example, there was this really fascinating study done in Sweden where they followed a group of patients with heart failure. They added CoQ10 to their regular treatment for 2 years, and you know what? They saw significant improvement in their quality of life and even a decrease in, major heart events.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so heart health, check. What's the next superpower of CoQ10?
All right, this one's for everyone who feels like they're constantly bombarded by stress, which is probably all of us, right? CoQ10 is a powerful antioxidant.
Okay, stop right there. I feel like we hear about antioxidants all the time, but I'm not really sure I understand what they are or why they're so important. Can you break it down for me?
Yeah, of course. Think of antioxidants as your body's own personal defense squad against damage caused by these unstable molecules called free radicals.
Free radicals, like what even are
They're
those?
basically byproducts of all the chemical reactions happening in your body, kind of like exhaust fumes from a car. And too many of them can cause damage to your cells, kind of like rusting metal. So what CoQ10 does is help neutralize what we call oxidative stress, which is basically an imbalance where there are too many of these damaging free radicals and not enough of your body's natural defenses to counteract them. And this imbalance can really contribute to the aging of your cells and is linked to all sorts of age-related conditions like, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Okay, so that's where the antioxidants come in, right? They're like the cleanup crew.
Exactly. And CoQ10 is a superstar in that department. It can directly neutralize these free radicals, acting like a tiny little scavenger that grabs them and basically renders them harmless before they can cause any more damage. It's a vital layer of protection for organs that are especially susceptible to oxidative damage, like, your brain and, of course, your heart again.
I love that analogy. It's like a little bodyguard for ourselves. Okay, so we've got heart health, antioxidant power. What's next on the list of CoQ10 benefits?
All right, this one might resonate with folks who experience those pesky, unexplained muscle aches.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like my muscles are just always sore for no reason.
Well, if you've noticed that you have persistent muscle cramps or weakness or just this general feeling of soreness that doesn't really have an obvious cause, it might be worth considering that maybe, just maybe, your CoQ10 levels are a little low. And some research actually suggests that boosting your CoQ10 levels could help relieve those symptoms and maybe even bring back some of that lost muscle strength.
This is ringing a ball. Didn't you mention something about statins earlier? Like the cholesterol medication?
Yes, and this is actually super important for a lot of people. Statins, while they're really effective at managing cholesterol, they can sometimes interfere with the body's natural production of CoQ10, and that can lead to those frustrating muscle aches, pains, and fatigue that sometimes make people want to stop taking their medication altogether. But guess what? Supplementing with CoQ10 can often help reduce those side effects, allowing people to keep taking their meds without all that discomfort.
That's huge. Because let's be real, side effects can be so debilitating that people stop taking the medications they need, which defeats the whole purpose. Okay, so muscle comfort, check. What about our brains? Does CoQ10 do anything for those?
Oh, absolutely. Our brains, even though they're not that big compared to the rest of our bodies, they use a ton of energy. They're constantly working, whether we're awake or asleep. And guess what? CoQ10 plays a crucial role in fueling all that brain activity. It helps keep those brain cells, called neurons, healthy and protected from the wear and tear of aging, which in turn supports healthy memory and concentration.
This is all starting to sound pretty amazing. So are researchers looking into CoQ10's potential for brain health, just like they are for heart health?
Oh, absolutely. Researchers are super interested in the antioxidant and neuroprotective properties of CoQ10, and they're studying its role in both preventing and managing neurodegenerative diseases. And there have already been some encouraging results. For instance, some studies have found positive effects in people with Parkinson's disease who took CoQ10 regularly. It's still early days, but these initial findings are definitely promising and suggest that CoQ10 could be a real game changer for long-term brain health.
That's incredibly exciting. Okay, so we've covered heart health, antioxidant power, muscle comfort, brain protection. What's the fifth and final superpower of CoQ10?
All right, so this one kind of circles back to the topic of medications and side effects. We've talked about statins, but, there's a bigger picture here.
What do you mean?
Well, while statins are the most well-known example because they directly affect CoQ10 production, the same principle can apply to other medications as well. If you're taking a medication that's causing fatigue or muscle problems, and if those side effects could be linked to, disruptions in energy production or increased oxidative stress, then supplementing with CoQ10 might be something to consider. It's all about supporting your body's natural systems that might be getting thrown off by the medication. But and this is really important, any decision about taking supplements, especially alongside prescription medications, should always, always be discussed with your doctor.
Absolutely. Always talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements, especially if you're already taking medication or have any health conditions. They can help you figure out what's best for you. Okay, so we're all convinced about the potential benefits of CoQ10. But now, the big question. How do we make sure our bodies are actually absorbing it properly? I know there are different forms of CoQ10 out there.
Great question. Yeah, when you're looking at CoQ10 supplements, you'll usually see two main types, ubiquinone and ubiquinol. Now, for optimal absorption, especially if you're over 40, ubiquinol is generally considered the better choice.
Interesting. Why is that? What's the difference between the two?
Okay, so ubiquinone is like the basic form of CoQ10. We can think of it as the oxidized form, and ubiquinol is like the upgraded version, the reduced and more active form. Ubiquinol is basically ready for your body to use right away. As we get older, though, our bodies can have a little more trouble converting ubiquinone into ubiquinol, which is where the absorption issue comes in. So by taking ubiquinol directly, you basically skip that conversion step, and your body can use it more easily.
That makes sense. So ubiquinol, got it. Anything else we should keep in mind when choosing a supplement?
Yeah, quality is key. You definitely want to choose high-quality supplements from brands that you trust, brands that follow good manufacturing practices, and ideally do third-party testing to make sure that what's on the label is actually what's in the bottle, both in terms of purity and the amount of CoQ10. You also want to look for brands that talk about bioavailability, which basically means how well your body can actually absorb and use the CoQ10.
Bioavailability, okay? Another good word to know. And what about how to take it? Any tips for maximizing absorption?
Absolutely. So remember how we talked about CoQ10 being fat soluble? Well, that means it's best to take it with a meal that has some healthy fats in it. So think about taking it when you're having things like avocado, nuts, seeds, or even just using olive oil in your meal. The fat actually helps your body absorb the CoQ10 much better.
That's a great tip. So last question, dosage.
Yeah.
Is there a general recommendation for maintaining healthy levels?
Yeah. For most people, a good range is between 100 to 200 milligrams per day. But if you have specific health conditions like the ones we've talked about, heart issues, diabetes, chronic fatigue, you might need a higher dose. But, and this is really, really important, any changes to your dosage, anything beyond those general recommendations, should always be done with the guidance of your doctor. They can help you figure out what's safe and what's best for your individual needs.
Couldn't agree more. Always, always, always talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements, especially if you're dealing with any health issues. They can help you navigate all of that. Okay, so big picture, it sounds like CoQ10 is a pretty remarkable molecule with a huge impact on our energy levels, our heart health, and even how our bodies defend against aging at the cellular level.
You got it. I think the takeaway here is that if you've been feeling constantly drained or just lacking that get up and go energy, it's worth considering that a CoQ10 deficiency might be playing a role, and it might not just be, getting older.
Exactly. Think of it like this. CoQ10 is giving your body the essential fuel it needs at the most basic level, at the cellular level, to help you feel more like yourself again, to have the energy to get through your day and really truly live your life to the fullest.
And that brings us to a final thought-provoking question for you to ponder. If optimizing your cellular energy through something like CoQ10 can have such a profound impact on your heart, your brain, your muscles, your overall energy levels, what other aspects of your well-being might be positively influenced by making sure you have enough of this vital nutrient? It's fascinating to think about the ripple effects that this one foundational element could have, touching on so many different areas of your health and how you experience the world around you.
Lots to think about for sure.
Absolutely. And I hope this has been helpful for everyone listening.
Until next time.
Bye for now.